Good morning. Good morning. Come on in, grab whatever you're drinking. I've got my coffee here. We're not rushing anywhere. I want to start something with you today. I haven't been on a live stream in some time, and I feel like I need to get this moving. 35 mornings right now. Just you and me. Just you and me. And I want to start by telling you something that I mean completely. Not as a hook, not as a headline. I mean it in my bones. And for those of you who've been following sort of my path over the last 2 years, you've heard it before. You've heard it before. And that is today is the best day of my life. And not in a motivational poster way. Not because everything around me is perfect. It is far from perfect. But because I know something now that I did not know 3 years ago. I know what it feels like to not have today. And because I know that, because I have sat in that place every single morning since April the 8th, 2023, I've woken up knowing that this day, whatever it holds, is the best day I have ever had. See, this isn't a hack. It's not a mindset trick. It's not positive thinking, hyper optimism. This is a man who walked through a doorway he almost didn't find, and who has never once taken the other side of it for granted. Three years ago, on March the 4th, 2023, I wanted to take my life. I wanted to end it. But I'm not going to live in that for long this morning. That's not where we're going. But you need to know it. Because the distance between that day, March 4th, and April the 8th is 35 days. Which is exactly how long this little morning series is going to run. The whole teaching. Everything I'm going to share with you over the next month comes from what happened in those 35 days. I was a pastor. I was a leader. I was somebody that people came to with their broken things, but yet I was sitting in the most broken season of my own life, completely alone with it, absolutely convinced that the world would be lighter without me in it. But I was wrong. Profoundly, completely, irreversibly wrong. But I didn't know that yet. I had to find out. And what I found somewhere in those 35 days was a door. I didn't find a feeling or an inspiration or motivation. I found a door. And on the other side of that door was the most honest version of myself that I had ever met. And during those 35 days, from March the 4th to April the 8th of 2023, I walked through it. Since that day, I've been walking forward ever since. Now, I am not here to make this about crisis. I'm here because that experience gave me extreme clarity about human transformation. A clarity that I could never have gotten any other way. I know what it costs to stay imprisoned inside a false version of yourself. I know it with my whole body. Because long before I even thought about taking my life, it was taking itself from me. I know what it feels like also when that prison opens. That knowledge is what I teach and what I have been teaching for over 2 years. And these 35 mornings are where I teach it out loud right now, in real time, with no gap between the message and the messenger. No edits, no nothing. So here is what we're doing. Every morning for the next 35 days, I'm going to show up here, not with slides, not with a program to sell you, just me, this coffee, whatever is most alive in me that morning about what it means to live and what it means to live unbound. Because here's the thing I've learned about transformation. And I've learned it the hard way. And I've learned it from sitting across hundreds of people in this work. You cannot think your way into freedom. You can accumulate insight indefinitely and still be standing in the same prison, just a really educated prisoner. At some point, something in you has to see it modeled. Your nervous system has to watch a human being do the thing before it believes the thing is possible. That's not a weakness. That's just how we're built. And that's what I'm giving you, 35 mornings of a man who is genuinely, completely, gratefully alive, showing you what that looks like from the inside, not the highlight reel, the actual texture of a free life in real time. Over these next 35 days, I'm going to keep coming back to something that I call a hall, Hall moment, like the hallway that connects the rooms to your house. Now, there's an academic version of what this acrostic stands for, but I'm going to use a simplified version of it. It stands for Honesty Aligns Liberations Language. A hall moment is the moment when truth becomes so clear inside of you that you can't unsee it. You can't walk it back. You can't rationalize your way around it. You cannot go back through the door you just came through. It's not always loud. It oftentimes arrives like a whisper, a thought in the parking lot, a sentence in a journal, a conversation that opens something that you didn't know was closed. And sometimes it arrives like a wave. But however it comes, you know. And after it, something is permanently different. See, most of us have had hall moments that we didn't have language for. Moments when something aligned inside of us. We saw ourselves, our patterns, the truth of who we were and how we were living. We saw our lives with such clarity suddenly, and we felt the shift before we understood it. What began for me on April 8th, 2023 was a hall moment. Honesty. The most radical, unavoidable honesty about who I was and who I was not. It aligned something. It put things into truth. And what got aligned was a new language for my life. Not a new personality, not a reinvention, not personal growth. The actual language of who I had always been underneath everything that had been installed on top of it. And so I want to help you find that language. Over these next 35 mornings, I'm going to teach you how to recognize your own hall moments, the ones that you've already had that you didn't have words for, and the ones that are still on their way. Because the hall moment is not the destination, it's the pathway, it's the doorway. And freedom is learning to walk through doorways instead of standing in front of them. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about what it actually means to live unbound. Not free from difficulty, free inside of yourself in the middle of it. We're going to talk about the invisible architecture that keeps people in places that they don't want to be. We're going to talk about what it takes to excavate the real self from underneath all of it. And we're going to talk about what the other side looks like. Not theory, evidence. My life and the life of hundreds of people who have walked with me over the last 2 years is evidence. And I want to say this clearly so you can hear it. My life right now is extraordinary. Not because it's uncomplicated, not because there isn't pain, not because there isn't suffering, not because there isn't concern. My life is very complicated. But I am more alive, more clear, more at peace, more genuinely happy than I have ever been at any point in my entire life. And it started and became aware to me on April 8th, 2023. And it has grown every single day since. Not a sales pitch here. It's a testimony. And testimony is the most powerful teaching tool that exists because it doesn't ask you to believe a concept. It asks you to witness a life. So, look, I'll be here every morning, 9 o'clock Eastern or thereabout. Look at the life. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the thing that keeps most people from even starting this kind of work. It's not fear. It's not laziness. Something much more specific and I believe much more solvable. So come back tomorrow. Bring somebody with you if you know somebody who might need to hear this. Today is the best day of your life too. You just might not know it yet. So be well. I'll see you in the morning. Let's set you free.